Watch this video every day and change your life. Let me tell you something real, something most people will never say out loud. Nobody cares. That's the sad truth. People don't sit around thinking about you. They don't lose sleep over your mistakes. They're not replaying your every move in their heads. They are too busy fighting their own battles, carrying their own scars, dealing with their own storms. And that's exactly why you need to stop living for them and start living for yourself. I know that sounds harsh, but think about it. How many times have you hesitated because of what someone might say? How many dreams have you buried because you were afraid of being judged, laughed at, or called crazy? How many times have you silenced your own voice because you thought somebody else's opinion mattered more than your truth? That's the prison most people live in, the cage of other people's approval. And here's the punchline. Those people aren't thinking about you. They're too wrapped up in their own lives. Imagine this. You post a picture online, maybe you write something from the heart, and you sit there, refreshing the page, waiting for the likes, the comments, the validation. But within hours, that moment is gone. People move on to the next distraction, the next shiny thing. You put your heart on display for a digital applause that fades quicker than it comes. And when it fades, you're left questioning yourself again. Why? Because you thought you needed them. Here's the truth. You don't. You never did. You were taught to think you needed people's approval. From the time you were a kid, teachers, parents, friends, society itself trained you to believe that fitting in is the goal. Don't be too loud. Don't be too different. Don't stand out too much. Follow the crowd. Play it safe. Make everyone comfortable. But guess what? Playing it safe never built a legacy. Playing it safe never created greatness. Playing it safe never brought someone's dream to life. Let me ask you, when was the last time worrying about what someone else thought actually made you happy? When was the last time their opinion paid your bills, healed your heart, or gave you purpose? It didn't. Because it can't. Approval doesn't buy fulfillment, validation doesn't bring peace, and applause doesn't equal meaning. Here's where the shift happens. The moment you accept that nobody cares as much as you think they do, you are free. Truly free. Free to fail without shame. Free to try without fear. Free to live boldly without needing the world to clap for you. Because at the end of the day, your life isn't about what others think of you. It's about how deeply you live, how authentically you stand, and how courageously you walk in your own truth. Think about the people you admire most, the ones you call legends, the ones who left a mark on history. Do you think they were loved by everyone? Absolutely not. They were ridiculed, doubted, even hated. But they kept going because they weren't living for approval. They were living for purpose. That's the difference. Purpose outlasts opinions. Discipline outlasts doubt. And authenticity outlasts applause. Now let me get even more real. The sad truth is, when you're gone, life will go on. Yes, your family will grieve, your friends will remember, but eventually the routines return. The bills still need to be paid, the jobs still need to be done, the world keeps spinning. You become a memory. And if that sounds depressing, it's not meant to be. It's meant to wake you up. Because if life moves on that quickly, then why are you wasting time trying to please people who won't even remember what you wore, what you said, or what you did 10 years from now? You see, the most powerful freedom you can give yourself is this: live like nobody cares. Because they don't, not in the way you think. And once you accept that, the pressure disappears. The chains break. Suddenly, you don't have to measure up to their expectations. You don't have to chase their approval. You get to focus on what really matters: your happiness, your growth, your peace, your purpose. So here's my challenge to you. Stop shrinking yourself to fit into boxes that were never meant for you. Stop pretending to be someone you're not just to gain claps that don't last. Stop living for people who will forget your name the second life demands their attention again. Instead, live for you. Live for the ones who truly matter. Live for the legacy you want to leave behind. Because when the curtain falls, that's all that counts. Not the applause, not the opinions, but the truth of how you lived. Let's talk about the trap that ruins more dreams than failure ever will: the addiction to validation. You see, validation is a drug. The more you get, the more you crave. One compliment feels good for a moment, but then you're hungry for another. One like turns into checking your phone every 10 minutes. And before you know it, your entire sense of worth is being rented out to strangers who don't even know your story. But here's the problem with that drug. It never lasts. It's like pouring water into a bucket full of holes. You can keep filling it all day long, but it will never stay full. That's what happens when your confidence depends on what people think. You'll never feel enough. And worse, you'll start twisting yourself into someone you're not just to get another drop of that approval. You'll laugh at jokes you don't find funny, chase goals that don't belong to you, and live a life that doesn't even feel like yours. So what's the cure? Discipline, focus, consistency. Living like nobody cares means you stop chasing applause and start chasing growth. It means you build habits that make you stronger, even when no one is watching. Because success isn't about who claps for you, it's about who you become in the silence. Think about it. The gym is empty at 5 a.m. Nobody's there to cheer for you when you pick up that weight. Nobody's applauding when you choose the salad instead of the fast food. Nobody's posting your name online when you're grinding in the dark. But that's where the winners are made. That's where champions are born. Not in the spotlight, but in the shadows. Not with applause, but with discipline. And here's the beautiful irony. When you stop caring about applause, that's when people notice you. When you stop living to be seen, you become unforgettable. When you stop chasing, you start attracting. Because authenticity is magnetic. Discipline is magnetic. Courage is magnetic. People are drawn to those who live boldly, not those who beg for approval. But I get it. Living like nobody cares feels lonely at first. It feels like walking alone while everyone else is in the crowd. And that's scary because we're wired to want belonging. We're wired to want acceptance. But let me flip that for you. Loneliness is not weakness. It's strength in disguise. It's in the silence, in the solitude, where you discover who you really are. It's when the noise is gone that you finally hear your own voice. And that voice is worth more than 1,000 opinions. Ask yourself, if nobody clapped, would you still chase your dream? If nobody posted about it, would you still work on it? If nobody praised you, would you still love yourself? Because if your answer is no, then you're not living for yourself. You're living for them. And that's a life of slavery, not freedom. You have to train your mind like a warrior. A warrior doesn't need the crowd to cheer before stepping into battle. A warrior doesn't beg for applause after a victory. A warrior fights because it's who they are. And that's the mindset you need. Fight for your goals because they matter to you, not because they impress someone else. Stay disciplined because it makes you stronger, not because it looks good on social media. Stay consistent because it builds character, not because it earns you attention. Now, let's talk about fear. Fear is the fuel behind this need for approval. Fear of rejection, fear of judgment, fear of being forgotten. But fear is a liar. Fear whispers in your ear, if they don't like you, you're nothing. Fear says, if they laugh at you, you've failed. But here's the truth. Fear fades the moment you face it. Fear loses its power the moment you stop running. Think about the times in your life when you were most afraid, maybe giving a speech, maybe asking for something you wanted, maybe stepping into an unknown path. Was it as terrifying once you did it? Usually not. That's because fear is smoke and mirrors. It's loud in your head, but small in reality. And when you realize nobody's opinion can kill you, you become unstoppable. Living like nobody cares doesn't mean you stop loving people. It doesn't mean you stop caring about your family, your friends, the people who truly matter. It means you stop letting strangers, critics, and temporary voices dictate the way you live. It means you stop giving the steering wheel of your life to people who don't even know where you're going. Let me tell you a story. A young artist once shared his dream with a group of friends. They laughed. They said, "Nobody's going to care about your music." For a while, he believed them. He stopped writing. He stopped recording, but the fire never left his chest. Years later, he finally said, "I don't care if nobody listens. I'm going to do this for me." He poured his heart into his songs day and night with no one watching. And one day, one of those songs went viral. The same people who doubted him started clapping. But by then, he didn't even need their claps because he already knew his worth. That's the shift you need. Do it for you. Build for you. Dream for you. Because once you stop needing people to care, you unlock your true power. That's when you can focus like a laser, That's when you can discipline yourself like a soldier. That's when you can be consistent like the sunrise. And that's when you win. So hear me clearly. The world doesn't care as much as you think. And that's good news. It means you're free. Free to try, free to fail, free to grow, free to live. And in that freedom, you'll discover the most powerful version of yourself, the one who doesn't just survive, but thrives. There's one question I want you to carry with you. When it's all over, what will people really remember? Not the car you drove, not the title, not the number of followers you had on social media. That stuff fades like smoke. What remains, what echoes, is how you made people feel. Did you bring light into their darkness? Did you offer kindness when the world turned cold? Did you love without conditions? That's the kind of legacy that outlives you. See, people won't remember every word you spoke, but they'll never forget the way you touched their heart. They won't recall every success you posted, but they'll carry the moments you stood by them when they felt alone. And when your name is spoken years from now, it won't be attached to applause or achievements. It'll be attached to the love, the laughter, and the presence you gave. That's what really matters. So why waste another moment chasing approval from people who wouldn't even show up at your funeral? Why give your energy to voices that won't matter 10 years, 5 years, even 1 year from today? Live in such a way that when you're gone, the ones who truly loved you feel richer for having known you. Live in such a way that your children, your family, your closest friends carry a piece of your strength inside them. That's impact. That's legacy. That's real. And here's the beauty. You don't have to be perfect to leave that kind of mark. You don't have to have it all figured out. You just have to show up. Show up with love. Show up with authenticity. Show up with the courage to be yourself, unapologetically. Because when you stop performing for others and start living from your truth, the ripples you create are unstoppable. But let's not sugarcoat it. Living this way requires courage. It takes guts to say, I don't care if the world claps, I'm still going to dance. It takes strength to say, I don't need your approval, I approve of myself. And it takes discipline to keep showing up when nobody's watching, when nobody's praising, when nobody's validating. That's the kind of character that builds unshakable confidence. Think about this. On your deathbed, you won't be thinking about strangers on the internet. You won't be worried about how many people liked your last post. You won't be replaying the moments you held back because of fear. No, you'll be asking yourself, did I live? Did I love? Did I matter? And if you can answer yes to those 3 questions, then you've won. So start today. Live with purpose. Live with intention. Live boldly, even when nobody cares, especially when nobody cares, because that's when you're truly free. Free to write the book you've been holding inside. Free to start the business you've been dreaming about. Free to take the trip, to forgive, to create, to grow, to love without fear. And let me tell you something. When you live this way, you'll inspire people without even trying. They'll look at you and think, how do they have that fire? How do they walk with that kind of peace? And the answer will be simple. You stopped needing permission. You stopped begging for approval. You started living. So here's what I want you to do. Don't just watch this video and nod your head. Take action. Think about one thing in your life you've been holding back on because of fear of judgment. One dream, one step, one truth you've been hiding because you thought people would laugh. Now ask yourself, does it really matter what they think? Does it matter more than your happiness? More than your purpose? More than your peace? No, it doesn't. Drop that weight, release it, and step into your life fully without apology. Because this is your story, your one shot, your one chance to live a life that matters to you. Don't give it away to people who don't care. Don't waste it chasing validation that disappears. Live like nobody cares, because that's the sad truth. And in that truth lies your greatest freedom. So if this message hits you today, I want to hear from you. Share your thoughts in the comments. What's the one thing you're going to do differently starting now? And if this video gave you value, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. Not because I need your approval, but because you're choosing to be part of a community that is growing, learning, and becoming stronger every single day. You've got one life, one chance. Don't waste it on opinions. Build a legacy of love. Build a story of courage. Build a life that feels true to you. And when the end comes, you'll look back with peace, with pride, with gratitude, knowing you didn't just exist, you lived. Wishing you the best life possible at every age. Go out there and live like nobody cares and watch how powerful, how free, and how unstoppable you become.